I can't work a job. I've tried. I've worked for a couple years. I've worked good jobs, I've worked bad jobs, and I just can't do it. And by job in this sense, I mean a typical 9 to 5, but most of the jobs that I've ever worked were remote, thankfully. And even at that, I was still struggling so much. I've done in person, I've done remote, I've done good and bad. It's just not for me. And I know perhaps you're probably gonna say, maybe you should just try part-time. I would like to still be able to pay rent, thank you. It's just so soul draining. I don't know how to make this sound how it actually is without being too dramatic or too excessively intense. But I don't know, maybe other people can relate. But when I see other people that complain about work, they complain about the pay is not good or their manager is this and that. And my biggest gripe is it takes so much of my time. It takes too much of my time. I'm an artist, first and foremost. Art is a very long process. It takes time to create quality. Usually my pieces take about 3 to 4 hours. And when I end work, thankfully, because I don't have to do any commute, I have about 5 hours left in the day to just exist. And that's 5 hours to cook dinner, to cook food for the next day, to clean up, to de-stress after work. And it's just not enough time. It's not enough time because cooking takes a while. Eating takes a while. De-stressing takes a while. It's just not for me. I can't do it. I don't know. Maybe this makes me sound like a spoiled brat. And honestly, I can't see why there would be an issue with that. Why should I want to spend all of my precious time working for a company that doesn't care if I live or die? Working at a job that I literally couldn't care less about. It has nothing to do with me or my goals. And yes, I know you have to do hard things to get to the good thing, but this is the rest of life. If you don't get any sort of lucky break, this is just what you do until you eventually die. And is this really what majority of the world is okay with? I know working conditions have come a very long way from what they used to be back in the olden days, but we're still not anywhere close to where we should be, especially not even to talk about the job market. It's just so bad. All of your qualifications don't matter because the job that you're applying to is probably a ghost job and they're probably going to ghost you, or maybe they'll get back to you about a year later and be like, sorry, we've chosen someone else. And this isn't to say that no, actually it is to say that I think people should just be paid to exist. That's my most woke take. But I don't know. Other people seem to just have discomfort with work, but they're able to push through because, I need the money and, the job isn't too bad. And I've never really thought that. It's always been so bad for me. And perhaps I'm really feeling it now because I'm in an absolutely awful job. But it's so bad and it is so hopeless. It's so terribly hopeless, especially with the way things are just going. I'm an art person. We can see all the AI slop around everywhere. Even when I was younger, I knew that art wasn't a career for me. I grew up in an African country. Art was never going to be a career for me, but it's something that I wanted. I want to draw just all the time. That's all I ever want to do. That's all I can do. That's what I'm good at. And that doesn't really matter because all of those jobs are just either I'm never going to get them because of qualifications and whatnot, or AI is going to take over and make those jobs completely redundant. And it doesn't really help when you're looking towards the future. It doesn't. It just looks very bleak and very, very hopeless. And I'm not trying to fearmonger or whatever. I'm really just venting. I saw a post the other day on Blue Sky about how people think that the way to support their favorite creatives is by donating huge amounts. But really, if die-hard fans of somebody, an artist or somebody that they like online, if you really wanted to support those people, I saw that if that creative had an option for you to give $1 to them a month, that is going to go so much farther than you think it would. And I'm not asking for money right now, even though it sounds like I might be. I'm just saying, if you want to keep seeing good things, you have to support it somehow, whether it's by opening your wallet or sharing with other people. And no, that doesn't mean share this video. I'm just venting and I don't have my thoughts in order. I'm just complaining about a lot of things because I'm not very happy right now. And my friends are absolutely sick and tired of hearing me complain about my job and complain about life. So I thought, why not talk to you guys instead? I say you guys as if it isn't the entire internet. But I know there's just no way that I'm the only person that's thinking this. I just cannot see a really good future. I can't really see one at all. And that's just not very helpful for me. I don't know. It's not just a matter of get a better job, because that's not gonna happen. If for some reason I don't have a job, I lose this job right now, the next time I'm going to get a job is probably going to be next year, because God knows nobody's hiring anymore. And even if they are hiring, they're hiring for people who have 5,000 years of experience, and they're going to pay you minimum wage. They would go lower if they could, if they were allowed to. I don't know. Every day is worse than the last. And people will say, oh, it gets better. It doesn't. Not in my case. Maybe in yours. I hope it does get better in your case. But none of that, hearing that doesn't help at all. It really doesn't. I don't know. I just can't continue this way. I can't do a 9 to 5. And yes, I'm a spoiled brat. I will hold that with pride. I'm very spoiled for wanting to use my time for the things that I'm interested in. And I really hope that people that have an issue with me saying that I don't want to work can understand that sometimes people just don't want their time to be given to some other company. People actually want to do things that they like with their very, very limited and precious time. The gaslighting that has happened to us as a whole society in regards to putting work on a pedestal and giving your whole life away to some company or business as a good thing because, oh, your children will have a nice future, doesn't matter. And if you don't have children, what was the point? What was the point? You wasted your whole time, and it wasn't even intentional. It wasn't purposeful. It's because you had to live. And that's disgusting. And this doesn't just apply to people like me. This goes as well for people that probably have children and they need to work because of health insurance, taking care of the kids and the family and extended family. And I just really want people to think, just entertain the thought for a moment. What if you never had to work to get all of those things? What if you just could exist on the planet, get an education, do good things, do those hobbies that you really love to do, and do them with all your time, hang out with your friends, travel to places? What if we all could do that, but we didn't have to keep that to only 2 weeks annual leave where you get to be a human being, or keeping it to weekends if by luck you don't work on the weekends? What if we dare to dream outside this disgusting corporate space, outside capitalism? What if universal basic income was a real thing? Just think about how many lives would be saved, how many people would still be here, how much happier entire societies and communities could be. Even in your guiltiest pleasures, you dream about a time where you don't have to work, where you can just live. And I don't know if that's such a bad thing. I don't think it is. That's all I had to say.